Hey there, welcome to the paper flow tutorial on how to fold this rabbit head. To make this, you will need 1/2 square, so you take a square and you cut it diagonally in half, of watercolor paper. The paper I use is Ashes, 300 grams, and the size I use is about 25 centimeters or a bit more. So 25 on the side. I prefer to use Ashes over any other watercolor paper, and I can show you why. So this is the mask I folded with the Ashes, and this is with different watercolor paper, and you can compare them. And it's just easier to fool around with the paper and just keep fiddling until you get the desired result and keep remodeling with arches. If you do it with any other paper, you'll see more marks of what you did with it. So I definitely recommend this paper. Something else you need is a bit of water. That being said, let's get in the flow. So, when you have your paper and your water, I found the best way to dampen your paper is just first dampen your hands, make sure they don't drip anymore, and then just spread the moist on your paper. Do it twice on each side. We're only doing this to make the paper easier to handle. This is not for shaping it, so it doesn't really have to be much, just a tiny bit. Also, if you fold the paper like this, it leaves a bit of less marks. Voila, that's it. You can see the paper is good to go when it's easier to bend like this. And then if your paper has a more rough side than the other sides, you want to put the rough side in the back. And first thing we're gonna do is fold this corner to this corner, but don't squeeze all the way through. So like this. And just only crease the top half. So like this. Better to do less than too much. Then, same on the other side. Like this. And then we're going to bisect this angle. So put this side to this side, or the other way around. And also only fold up to your previous crease. So only fold to here. Once you have both folds, you can just finish them like this, so you get this effect. Same on the other side. Next, to make the rabbit's ears, we're going to do a drumroll rabbit ear fold. But not entirely. If we would do a rabbit ear fold, we would also do a master fold like this, but we don't want that. So just push this in the back, and we're only gonna make this valley fold sharp. So like this, and just bend the paper until about it reaches reaches this corner, but don't make this sharp. Just in the back. We want this to be sharp. Same on the other side. Make this sharp, like this. Okay, then open back up, or open one side, this one. Just a bit more water. Okay, so open one side. We just need this point for reference, and we're gonna fold this point up to here. Maybe it's even easier to just put your finger here so you know where you need to go, and just fold this up to about here. This, and only pinch in the middle. Just a slight pinch. Okay. So your result is these creases and this little pinch. Then we're going to bend the paper in half like this. Don't crease, just bend. And we're only gonna make the crease sharp on the bottom part here. And not all the way to the pinch, but just a bit beneath. When you're almost at the pinch, we are going to push this down like this, and then make a mountain fold from the middle here to the sides of this pinch. This way you get a triangle, and this triangle should, the bottom should be almost rectangular, so right. This, and the size should be like 1 or 2 centimeters here, not more than that. So this is gonna be the nose. It looks good and symmetrical. You can really sharpen these creases. This. So you have this triangle and this line going downwards. Then we're going to make a mountain fold from the side of the triangle to the bottom, so the side corner here. And it's easier if I point like this, so this points to this. And then same on the other side. So get this long triangle from this point to there. If it's symmetrical, make it really sharp. Okay. And then the final pre-creases are so you have, I don't know if you can see it very well, but you have this triangle and then the big one, and we're gonna bisect these two mountain folds. So you have to be really precise here. Easiest way to do it is just make it two mountain folds, push in the paper, your nail, and you only have to bisect up until this line. If it's further, no problem, but the valley fold only goes to the middle. Like this. Same on the other side. And then you can do both at once, so you just make this middle mountain fold a valley fold up to the point where all the lines meet. And just press it in, this, push out the little triangle from the back, so you get this kind of shape. Then we're gonna adjust this, so we're gonna now it's probably a good time to moisten your paper a bit in this area and in this area. Okay, not a little, because you want everything here sharp. If you moisten this too much, your creases won't be sharp, so don't moisten this. Just the sides so the paper is easier to work with. And now we're gonna start bending like this, and it's probably easiest in the back if you just, so we're gonna undo these mountain folds and just grab the paper like this and then really squeeze together here on top. So in front you see this happen. Okay, make it so your model becomes 3D and you can easily grab in the back here. Then you see these two valleys on here from the small triangle. We're gonna really make those sharp, so just push the paper flat like this. This, and then so this is the result. And now just fold this flap here flat to the side. It will not line up here. Just extend this. So you get this result. This, and then same to the other side, like this. What we're doing now is, so in front we have our nose and we have this vertical line, and we're just making this pretty sharp here, this front. Okay, next. We're gonna split this again, so like this, like this. So making mountain folds. This part should be less than this. So you can see in the final result, so this vertical should be tinier than this. And this should normally be bigger than this diagonal. With me, for some reason, that's not the case. Doesn't really matter much. But you probably want to make this point at least as far as this point. Maybe even further. Then on the bottom here, you can open up the paper while you're still grasping here on this point. So you're still holding it here, and then open the paper, and you can push it forward, and then really push in here, so you get this sort of thing. And on front it looks like this. Then fold back just a little bit. And for now we are done with the mouth and nose of rabbit. Next we're going to work around the ears area. So I'm going to slightly moisten these. Not too much. We'll make the rabbit ear folds again. And first we're gonna fold this flap backwards all the way to this point. So you get this result. And then so when we first made rabbit ear folds, this bottom fold, which we didn't make sharp, would end up at the corner of the paper. We're going to shift it a bit more to the side, so it ends up here. And only squeeze flat at the corner here. This. Same on the other side. So just push the paper so it kind of ends up like here. You can't fold it flat. And just squeeze this corner. The ears will cross a bit, that's no problem. Then you should be able to easily bend this paper here. If that's not the case, gently moisten it just a bit more. And we're gonna fold back this part in such a way that, just wait till I showed you the finished result, in such a way that this point here is about halfway between, so this length should be about the same as this length, or even this should be just a bit more than this. So I'm just gonna adjust a tiny bit. And your mountain fold here should be right next to this point. And it doesn't really matter where it ends up here. So like this, and then same on the other side, bend backwards. Make sure the mountain is next to this point, so not over the point, but right next to it, and ends up at the same height. It's really important these two are at the same height, otherwise your eyes won't be as high on each side and your rabbit will look really wonky, like in my first dust fold. I don't think I still have it. Okay, so really compare if they're equal. Doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, you can still adjust it later on. But try to make it as equal as possible. Then when you're sure, make this as sharp as possible. Cruise down really hard. Then reverse this fold, so this mountain becomes a valley. On both sides. And open up again, so you get this. And now we are going to do a closed sink. I hope you're familiar with those. If not, no problem. We just open the paper from the back a bit. So just grab here, open up so the model becomes 3D. And we are going to make these two outer folds we just made, both mountain folds and the middle a valley fold. It's easiest to start from the top down. So mountain, valley, mountain, just push in, and then work your way down while opening the paper and just grabbing this so it doesn't release, and then push in this point. Do this as cleanly as possible because these will become the eyes. You can also check in the back if this looks clean, then you're good. I'm not going to make it really sharp. First I'm going to do the other side and then compare, and if it's equal then I will make it sharp. Compare, if it looks equal. Then we're going to just do a bit less. So I'm pushing it back out just a bit so the eye is a bit higher up in the paper. Okay, this is good. Okay, when they're nice and equal, you make them really sharp, and then we are going to inside reverse fold these ears outwards. To do this, so we're gonna make, just gonna moisten it just a bit. That's probably too much. So now make this mountain fold a valley fold. Just push this in like this. You don't have to go to this point, you can even go a bit further. And then make a valley fold from this point to all the way in the back. Here. This. And make a valley bend, not a fold like this. So I get this. Same on the other side. Okay. And you can just toy around with how much or how little you do this and how much you do this to make different ears. And now we are going to make sure this is almost a right angle. This is squeezed to here. So you grab it here. And we are going to push in the eye. And if you push it in, make sure your paper isn't too dry or too wet. And you want to end up not with a circle, but sort of a droplet shape. So more like this. The paper is just a bit too dry. If you see it's not easy to make smooth lines, that means your paper is too dry. So this kind of shape is what you want. Same on the other side. Try to make them as equal as possible, of course. The eyes are the most important aspect to be symmetrical. If you don't want to make it uncanny. This. Now leave this to dry before we work any further. Now we are going to shape the head. So we want this to be pretty moist, this area. And this just a bit. Okay. Then grab your paper here. And first we're gonna finish the ears. To do this, you can see this line and go like this. We're gonna sort of make a mountain bend here and then some valleys over here. Just make the mountain bend like this and get this result. And now to make the ear nicer, we are going to push in this part, so you get a valley fold that goes from here and sort of bends like this. Maybe it's easier to show in the finished model. So the valley fold goes like this and bends to this point where you made the mountain. So push it in like this, so the valley and the mountain should end up at the same point almost. Like this, and then in front you just, while you're grabbing here and here, push in till all comes together here and your ear gets the shape you like. So this should be the result. Same on the other side. Mountain bend. And then curved valley. So this part for me is just a bit too wet, which means if I do this, it just doesn't hold, you know. So it's no problem for now. I can strengthen the folds here later. But yeah, if you have one part that's too wet, you just start working on another part and just come back to this later. It's no use just keeping it dry. So then when you're happy with your ears, you can put 2 fingers beneath the ears and then with your thumb push in here, so you get this little valley that only goes to the top of the eyes, like this. This is to make the head more round. And the ears back closer together, like this. Okay, we're almost done. 2 more steps. One step is to make the rest of the shape of the head, and then we're gonna finish down here. So to shape this part, we're going to push in here. So we're going to make this thing. So start pushing in here, and now we're making a curved mountain fold that goes from the top of the eye, makes a curve and ends up here at the tip of the nose. Don't worry about this yet. This mountain fold should not be sharp, only here at the nose you can make it sharp. So just press here. Same on the other side. Push in. And make this as symmetrically as possible. When it's symmetric, or it looks symmetric, make this part really sharp. Just a straight part. Okay, then to give this more volume, we are going to, so now you have a curve going like this, and we more want like an S curve, or like this. Here you see this sort of S curve, yeah? And this makes the snout a bit wider. So what we're gonna do is just from the back, push back a little, and try to keep this as smooth, so you don't want any sharp corners. Try to keep this as smooth as possible, and just bend back like this. And then this needs to be not so wide, and you want this as wide as possible and this as little as possible. So I just do like this, so this becomes wider and this a bit less wide. This might take a while. This is probably the hardest part to shape well, till it looks good, but just keep fiddling it around until you're satisfied with the results. So you don't want anything like this here. In the back you can see this isn't smooth. You want a smooth curve here. So if you have this, you can always work in the back and make it smooth again. Okay. When you're happy, you can just go to the back and make this pretty sharp and well defined. Like this. Okay, then we're gonna finish down here. So this is a bit, well, this can get a better shape. For the bottom, what I did was, so yeah, maybe this one you can leave it like this if you want, or if you want more tooth-like thing like this, you can do another step, which is make a mountain fold that goes straight up from the corner here. To do this, in the back, you need to spread this paper like this. Now you can make the fold, and it's a swivel fold. So it'll look like this. Okay. Same on the other side. Open up the paper and make swivel fold. And just sort of, okay, mine are a bit thin and wonky, but you can keep adjusting until it looks perfect for your tastes. Okay, wonky teeth. And then I'm gonna make this a bit less long, so I'm gonna fold back here. And don't fold back all the way, just halfway. So halfway between here and here. And up until this part, so beneath the ear. Sure. And then fold this back maybe a bit. And then redefine this. So this is a bit smaller. Same on the other side. As you can see now, this rabbit's still a bit off. It's not entirely symmetrical, so you just keep going at it and adjusting until you're satisfied with the result. And then as a final step, we're gonna pop out the eyes again. To do this, you must make this mountain fold as sharp as possible. So let's squeeze inside. And the eyes should also be almost dry. So if it's still a bit moist, just wait and do it later. Okay, and then just start pushing out the eye from the back again, and don't push it all the way. If you do it all the way, it's no problem. Just push it back in a bit. And same on the other side. So my paper is still a bit moist, so this isn't as easy. And it won't look perfect yet. Yeah, there you go. This is almost finished. So with a bit more shaping, you get this nice rabbit head. I'm going to show you what my original looked like. So the paper was a bit bigger. This was I think 28 centimeters. And yeah, you can pause at any point to compare your model with mine and see what it looks like to adjust shaping. So I hope you liked this tutorial, and I'll see you next time. Bye.